Silence gripped the bridge of the beyond infinity as it glided through the icy wastes past Pluto. Captain Silva stood with hands clasped behind her back, dark eyes fixed on the view screen displaying the dwarf planet. She cut an imposing figure, tall and broad-shouldered, her steel-gray uniform bedecked with medals and ribbons denoting decades of distinguished service. "Temporal anomaly dead ahead," came the call from the navigation station. There it was, a shimmering rent in the darkness of space. It rippled with prismatic light like some cosmic mirror reflecting unseen vistas. This was the first stable passageway to faster-than-light travel humanity had ever discovered, and they were venturing into it. "Steady as she goes," Silva ordered. "Take us in." As the ship breached the event horizon, klaxons blared. The bridge was bathed in the angry red glow of emergency lights as alarms shrieked. On the displays, streams of data skittered wildly. "Subspace distortion increasing," Helm yelled over the din. "Guidance systems are offline." The ship bucked and heaved, inertial dampeners struggling to compensate as the anomaly's gravitational forces seized the vessel in its turbulent grip. The crew held on against the battering, knuckles white. "We're through," came the stunned shout. The ship spun violently as it was expelled from the anomaly's far side. Gravity reasserted itself, slamming everyone to the deck plating. Groans sounded through the bridge. "Status report," Silva barked, pulling herself up using the central command table. "Guidance is back online," Helm responded as she clambered back into the seat. "No critical damage." "Sensors are picking up something," the science officer gasped. Silva turned to the view screen. Filtered through wisps of gravitic distortion, a cerulean globe blinked into existence. Impossibly familiar continents swam into focus, though rendered in exotic sapphire hues. "Location confirmation," Silva rasped. "Where the hell are we?" The answer flashed onto navigation screens. Andromeda Galaxy, over 2 million light-years from home. Silva's eyes widened at the impossible readout. Mankind's first faster-than-light voyage had also traversed vast intergalactic distances. "How can there be an Earth out here?" she whispered. "Scanning," science replied, "detecting structures on all major continents, cities, and some kind of energy signatures throughout the biosphere. Not radiation, unknown type." The officer looked up, face pale. "There's intelligent life down there." Silva stared at the sapphire Earth suspended outside the viewport, an entire alien civilization. Were they human, or something else entirely? She steeled herself. They had come seeking answers about the infinity of existence, and here, impossibly far from home, they had found them. "Take us into high orbit," she ordered. "We've got first contact protocols to enact. Beyond infinity, we have crossed the abyss, but our mission has just begun." Silva assembled the first contact team in the transporter room, technicians making final adjustments to the exploration suits. Dr. Vaughn, the xenobiology expert, fidgeted nervously with a scanning pad. Lieutenant Cole, the diplomatic attaché, gave a curt nod to Silva as the captain entered. "No weapons, only scanners and the translator modules," Silva ordered. "This is a peaceful reconnaissance only. Understood?" "Yes, ma'am," Cole replied. "But have we considered this may be some alternate version of humanity? The planet, the geography, it's all too similar." "Unlikely, but it's our duty to find out," Silva said. "Energize." The first contact team dematerialized in a shimmer of light. Seconds later, a cheer sounded over their suit comms as they rematerialized on the alien Earth. Exotic aromas filled the air. Cinnamon, leather, traces of ozone. Ruins of crystalline architecture surrounded them, glittering iridescently in the light of the alien sun. "Fascinating," Vaughn murmured. "This crystal substance bears a resemblance to calcite or quartz, yet with unique energetic properties. I'm picking up embedded microfilaments that appear almost organic." Alien biology interwoven with the mineral composition, Silva mused. Like bones or shells, these structures were alive. Rustling sounds drew their attention. A small alien creature fluttered down from a crystalline spire on filmy wings. Its sapphire skin and wide violet eyes marked it as a native of this world. It sang lovely trilling notes, regarding them with its head cocked. "First contact," Silva breathed. Silva. Cole extended a gloved hand. The alien alighted on his palm, looking quizzically at the explorers with its large, luminous eyes. It cheeped in surprise when Cole slowly stroked its feathers. "I think it likes us," he said with a grin. Vaughn scanned the creature. Astounding. Its genetic structure is nearly a match for terrestrial avians. The coding sequences are too similar for coincidental evolution. Could they be descended from Earth birds? Silva wondered. Potentially engineered by an intelligent designer, Vaughn replied, though that raises more questions than answers. The city ruins covered the land to the horizons. Silva considered their technicolor spires, trying to parse their purpose. What kind of beings dwelled here? "Let's keep moving," she ordered. "We have a lot more ground to cover." They trekked crystalline boulevards past alien flora with a disquieting resemblance to terrestrial species. Vaughn filled her satchel with specimens. Soon they stood before an expansive pyramidal building encrusted with intricate ornamental designs. Cole ran his hand over the surface. "This looks like writing of some kind. We should get imaging for the translation algorithms." A thunderous crack resounded through the ruins. A whole section of the pyramid collapsed, exploding into shards. An enormous blue-skinned humanoid rose from the debris, dust clouding around it. Silva gasped. "Now we have our answer about inhabitants." The alien dwarfed them in size, its physique thickly muscled. It cried out in alarm at their presence. Silva raised a placating hand. "We intend no harm," she said slowly. "We seek only—" With a roar, the being charged. The bridge crew of the Beyond Infinity could only watch helplessly through suit cams as the colossal alien charged the away team. "Back to the beam out sight now," Silva yelled. They turned and ran through the crystalline ruins, boots pounding on alien soil as the sound of massive footfalls drew closer. Vaughn risked a glance back, eyes widening in shock as their pursuer closed the gap. "He's right on top of us," she screamed. The alien seized Cole, lifting him as he struggled in its vice-like grip. It studied the captive human curiously, tilting its head. "Wait," Silva cried. "We mean you no harm." The universal translator module on her suit emitted a stream of melodic sounds, translated speech designed to be inoffensive. The giant alien rumbled, lowering Cole to the ground unharmed. It responded with a resonant series of tones translated as, "You trespass from beyond the abyss." "We came through the anomaly," Silva replied, gesturing skyward. "We seek only peaceful exchange." The alien's violet eyes narrowed. "Then you must speak to the elders. Come." It lumbered off, beckoning them to follow. Exchanging uncertain glances, they accompanied the hulking humanoid through the city. The journey ended at an open crystalline plaza, where a council of robed azure aliens awaited them. Their leader circled the humans, inspectioning them with piercing eyes. "You are not of our universe," it declared, "yet kin to our form. Why have you come?" Silva recounted their risky journey through the anomaly leading to this parallel Earth. The elders listened intently, murmuring at mention of the temporal gateway. "That rift has long been a matter of concern and study to we who dwell beyond," the leader said gravely. "While we understand its workings, we know better than to meddle frivolously. You tread dangerous paths." Before Silva could reply, an ear-splitting crack resounded overhead. The temporal anomaly had reappeared, churning ominously. "It's closing," Vaughn shouted over the noise. We have to go back now. The elders entreated them to stay and learn mutually of their people, but there was no time. Bidding the aliens farewell, the team rushed to the beam out point as reality seemed to fray around them. Blinding light engulfed them, carrying them back to the ship in the nick of time. Yet as Silva's vision cleared on the transporter pad, she immediately knew something was wrong. The transporter room's design was different, more sleek and futuristic. Crew members in updated uniforms gawked at the new arrivals. "Captain Silva?" one asked incredulously. "We thought you were lost centuries ago." Silva staggered, disbelief washing over her. Centuries? Consulting the ship's chronometric archives confirmed the impossible truth. While mere weeks had passed for them, over 5,000 years had elapsed on Earth since their departure. Fueled by reverse-engineered faster-than-light from the anomaly, humanity had expanded to a vast interstellar empire. Silva observed her home planet on the bridge view screen with a sense of wonder tinged by sadness. So much lost time, so many lives she could never know again. Yet gazing at Earth's glittering orbital rings and bustling space docks, she knew they had taken the first step into a grand new epic for humanity. The Beyond Infinity's incredible voyage had shown them the way to touch infinity. Silva stood rigidly as the medal of extreme valor was pinned to her uniform in the gilded halls of the United Earth Federation. Though humanity now spanned hundreds of star systems, the anomaly's network of portals threaded through it all, and it was considered imperative to honor the first explorers who had traversed them. "Your brave journey expanded our horizons beyond imagination, unlocking omni-galactic travel," the Federation president intoned at the ceremony. "Yet with this newfound ability, we must also shoulder new burdens of vigilance." His words turned grim. "We know little of what lies beyond the known anomalies, and yet we hear disturbing reports from frontier scout ships of strange entities and vessels glimpsed at the edges of infinity, striking fear into those who behold them." Murmurs rippled through the assembled brass and politicians. "Therefore, I am ordering the establishment of the Beyond Infinity Corps," he declared. "The finest cruise ships and bravest commanders to guard the liminal spaces between worlds, to stand against those nameless things that encroach upon our reality." He turned to Silva. "Captain Silva, your qualifier voyage makes you uniquely suited to this charge. Will you accept leadership of the first wave?" Silva stepped forward. "I will serve to safeguard humanity against all threats, no matter where among the stars they may lurk." Thunderous applause echoed in the hall at her words, but Silva felt a chill of foreboding at the coming task. What truly lay beyond the few safe pathways they had found? In the months that followed, the new corps rapidly took shape. Crews integrated cutting-edge phase plasma weapons and reality-anchoring fields to fortify ships against extra-dimensional entities. Special training facilities were constructed on moons and asteroids to simulate the bizarre terrain between realms. Finally, the time arrived for the first voyage of the brave souls who had volunteered as the vanguard. Hundreds of cruise ships passed in review formation with the maiden cruiser Beyond Infinity 2 as they prepared to depart into the perilous unknown. "Once we cross the anomaly horizon, we are in uncharted territory," Silva addressed her bridge crew. "But humanity depends on us now to face the infinite. We will not fail." They accelerated into the shimmering portal under countless watching eyes. But as the vessels slipped one by one into the swirling light, telemetry and signals were swallowed, leaving only static. When the Beyond Infinity 2 emerged on the other side, they found themselves utterly alone. The fleet vanished without a trace. There was no anomaly here, only a seething quantum foam that roiled with fiery energy. No planets or stars could be seen in the churning chaos. "Where are the others?" Silva whispered. Dread seized her heart in that untamed realm. Alarms suddenly blared as a vast shape materialized from the miasma off their bow. Kilometers long, the vessel appeared hewn from the stuff of black holes, absorbing all light into its obsidian curves. More appeared, encircling them in an ebony loop. Then a voice tore into their minds, sibilant and mocking. "Who are you to appoint yourself guardians of our realm? Beyond lies our domain alone. Return now or be unmade." Silva's eyes hardened with resolve. They had awoken a terrible evil, but they would fight it. "Battle stations," she roared. "Evasive maneuvers," Silva barked as the nightmarish vessels closed in. "Ready all weapons." The Beyond Infinity 2 banked sharply, maneuvering thrusters firing at full capacity to evade the enemy's looping trap. Arcane energies gathered along the obsidian ship's flanks, unleashing searing beams against the core vessel's shields. "Return fire!" The cruiser's phased plasma batteries raked the dark ships with blistering salvos. Shields flared under the impacts but held. "Minimal damage," weapons reported. "Their defenses are adaptive." The ship heaved as a lucky shot penetrated its shields, bulkheads groaning. Silva clung grimly to her command chair as the bridge dissolved into organized chaos. Alarms wailed, displays flickering erratically under cascading attacks. "Shields down to 15%, sensors warned. "We can't take much more." Silva watched the malevolent armada hammering relentlessly at their faltering defenses. But in that moment, clarity seized her. The infinite held dangers, yes, yet it was humanity's birthright to explore its farthest shores. "All power to the reality anchor," she commanded. "We're taking this fight to them." As the shield bubble collapsed, the energy field projected by the anchor enveloped the ship. The crumpled bulkhead smoothed out as localized physics reasserted itself. As the dark vessels swooped in for the kill, the Beyond Infinity 2 surged to meet them head-on. "Brace for impact!" The cruiser slammed into the nearest enemy ship, shearing through its warped hull. Bulkheads parted like tissue before the surging field with a shriek of rupturing metal. The vessel listed away, erupting in chaotic bursts of unleashed cosmic forces. "Press the attack! Hit them while their defenses are disrupted!" Silva shouted. The Beyond Infinity 2 punched through the disoriented fleet, blasting ships apart at point-blank range. The anchor rendered their eldritch shields useless. Explosions lit space as the armada came apart. Soon only one Leviathan remained, fires dotting its crumbling surface. Silva stood upon rising from her chair, chin high. "Return to the depths of infinity," she commanded. "Humanity will yield no further." Without warning, the view screen filled with a vast midnight eye, slit-pupiled and full of primal menace. It stared into Silva's soul, promising oblivion should they trespass here again. With a concussive blast, the entity vanished. Silva let out a shaking breath. Though triumphant, the threat they'd awakened haunted her. How many more malevolent forces dwelled in those endless gulfs? Upon returning, an uneasy Federation ordered further voyages, halted until the anomalies could be comprehensively mapped and secured. But Silva knew the yearning for the beyond would prove too great to restrain. In the years that followed, serving as Admiralty guiding the Corps in its duties, she observed newer, more daring captains take the helm who burned to follow in her pioneering wake. And she understood that drive to embrace the endless was woven into the human spirit.